Today's agenda is designed with a simple purpose, and that is to bring together a collection of people who are either young beginning producers, young agribusiness professionals, individuals pursuing a career in agriculture, individuals who are in the business of helping those who are pursuing a career in agriculture or who are engaged in the early stages of their career in agriculture.
I'm in Washington, D.C. this week for NYFEA's Ag Promises. And we have been here as a group of young agricultural producers and leaders in the industry to work with Congress and to brainstorm on new and innovative ways to bring agriculture more into my generation as well as generations in behind me.
We had a brainstorm about bringing together a collaboration of organizations from all parts of the United States, from all commodity groups, from many different interests, circles of interest, so that we could go and not necessarily go as one group with one voice about the Farm Bill, not go as one group with one voice about a specific commodity, but go as one group with one voice saying to this country's leaders, we need to make sure we're investing in the human side, the human resource, because if we don't have young people, if we don't have individuals striving to be the leaders, to be the producers, to be the agribusiness professionals in our industry, then we won't have an industry.
I heard something as we were talking about some of these issues that we were writing up on the board. Consumer ignorance. You know what? That's our fault. It's our fault. So we can't be blaming and pointing the finger on someone else anymore when consumer ignorance is caused because we aren't sharing our voice with the right people. But when our voice gets heard and we make those connections in people's minds, that's when things can start to happen that are positive for our industry. There's lots of people who are out there against us. HSUS, PETA, other advocacy groups, we hear about them all the time. But that consumer ignorance is because we aren't providing that fundamental ag education, another piece that I heard, to families who have children, to K through 12 students. It's providing those quick little pieces, those fingertip hot tips that I call them, that just plant seeds of knowledge for people to really understand what's going on in our industry. Consumer ignorance will no longer be a problem when we start talking with our congressmen and women tomorrow at the Capitol.
One of the biggest challenges we face is a dwindling number of representatives here in D.C. that are familiar with our issues. Used to be, there were many members of Congress and the Senate who came from the farm, knew the farm, knew agriculture, and were intimately aware of our issues and the effects that those issues have on their districts, their states, and the country as a whole. Unfortunately, that is a battle we are losing currently.
If your member of Congress happens not to be in agriculture, they don't know this stuff unless you call them and tell them. It's just a fact. You know, I'm fortunate, Whitney's been with me several years and she knows a lot of my farmers by name, but let's say that your member isn't on agriculture and they have an ag LA who's doing transportation, healthcare, and 3 or 4 other things, and something comes along like the regulation of whatever product that you got to have on your farm, that your member votes the wrong way on. Well, if you didn't call them up ahead of time and let them know, preferably, you know, personally, if it's not that call, who are you to get mad at them? Because, you know, nobody's all-knowing up here.
When you go there tomorrow, make sure that you're prepared. We're going through these topics. Gordon's going to come back up and show you what the 5 topics that we've decided on. Make sure you sit down tonight and go over them. Make sure that you can present a valuable case. Make their time worth your time as well. And when you go in, don't be nervous. I was nervous. I took Carl with me. I was scared to death. But they were some of the best people I've ever talked to. I learned more in 15 minutes than I've learned probably in the past 3 years at college. So just be relaxed, be audible, be heard, and show that you're passionate about what you believe in.
I was scared to death coming here, honestly, before we met, you know, coming here on the plane. You know, I've never done this. I'm just an old poor farmer that, you know, grew up, you know, I still had manure on my boots when I got on the plane. So, I mean, I was very intimidated because I've never done anything like this, but it was very impressive. We want to get everybody that's involved in agriculture to come with us, and NYFEA is just providing that stepping block to do that. And it makes a good thing that we're starting to get noticed, because that's the biggest thing, is if we can have a presence in Washington and with our lawmakers, it's going to make a huge difference in the future.
Ag Promises is making a difference. It's building a bridge between the younger generations of agricultural leaders to the building the older generations of agricultural leaders. That is such an important bridge that we build so that we learn the importance of agriculture and why that it continues in the future. The future of agriculture lies in the hands of not only myself, but the people behind me. And we, together, through agricultural promises, can make a difference on a local level, on a state level, and on a national level.